yesterday I went to see if I could meet up with Russell Brand because I really like what he's doing, and also aware that there are other people who don't like what he's doing, and that's fine. And I've been trying to get hold of him, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to Cambridge and see if I can get hold of him. I'll get a ticket to his show and see if I can get hold of him afterwards. So I took my megaphone with me and my bike, and I locked the bike up. I went to Cambridge Town Centre, did some megaphoning, and then I went outside the Corn Exchange in Cambridge where he was appearing, and started using my megaphone, and I was saying things like, "This is a protest against Russell Brand. Ever since my wife set eyes on him, she doesn't seem to have any interest in me anymore," etc., etc., and various other things. And just doing my thing as usual. And this time it was outside the Corn Exchange, and there were loads of people going into the show. It was a packed out audience, and they seemed to be all right with it. But after about half an hour, a rather large chap came out from security, and he said something like, "If you cause public disorder, I'm going to call the police on you," clearly telling me that I had to stop, and that he was sort of ordering me about. So I said, you know, "You're being very aggressive," and I closed my eyes and I meditated for a minute, and sorry, apologies about the announcements in the background. So I closed my eyes, I meditated for a minute, and when I finished meditating, I decided to carry on. And so I carried on for about 15-20 minutes, and then I went towards the door and said I'd like to, and they said, "No, sorry, the security guy says you can't go in." I said, "But I've got a ticket, I've got a valid ticket." "No, you cannot go in, I'm sorry, you can't go in." So I took my megaphone back, and I spent the next hour having fun megaphoning outside, and telling everyone that I'm protesting against being banned from Russell Brand. I don't know how many people have been banned from going to Russell Brand who bought tickets. I doubt very many. And I was protesting, and I was asking people to tell him, you know, shout to him, tell him there's a bloke outside with a megaphone, he wants to speak to you. Anyway, and this, you know, it was great fun, and it was fine, and I thought to myself, this is good. After about, I suppose, the first third of his show, and there was no one about because everyone was inside, I sort of went round the side, and I saw somebody go in round the side door, so I took out my ticket, and there was a lovely little lady. I had a long chat with the manager from the Corn Exchange. He was very nice in the end, but he just could not get past the idea of letting me in there, even though I said to him, "Look, what if I guarantee I'm not going to cause a disturbance?" "No, you might cause a disturbance, and then I'll lose my job," and all this sort of business. So I sneaked in round the side, and little old lady, and she sort of got me in there, and I watched 2/3 of the show, and I didn't disrupt the show because it just wasn't appropriate. It just didn't feel really appropriate. It's just the style of his show. And it was a really fascinating show. It was quite edgy, and bits of it I felt a bit uncomfortable with, but it was some good stuff he was saying. And at the end of the show, I got out my megaphone and tried to find out which door he was going out. I kind of figured it out, and I started sort of going through a megaphone. I said, "Come on, Russell, I need to speak to you." And he sort of drove off, or his driver drove off, and he was in this big sort of taxi-like Mercedes thing. And I said, "Come on, Russell, if you really want a revolution, I'm also into a revolution. I'm a revolutionary too. Stop the car. We need to talk. Don't just rush off." And he opened the car door and he said, "Get in." And I sort of rushed into the car. And the car zoomed off towards London, and I tied my bike up at Cambridge, but I didn't care. So off we went to London, and I suppose we drove for about half an hour, so maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. And he had a little film crew, a couple of people filming, and his agent in there, and we had a really lovely chat. And maybe, you know, my impression of him is that he is genuine, and he's genuinely trying to be uh, a, you know, the best person he can be, and he's on a spiritual path, I think, and it was great, and he dropped me off because he was going a completely different part of London, and I wasn't even sure what I was doing, and he dropped me off at Stansted Airport, near Stansted Airport, and he gave me 70 quid cash. I didn't ask for anything. He just gave me 70 quid cash so I could get back in a taxi, and I came back to Cambridge, and that's why I'm on this train at 4:30 in the morning, and just wanted to share that story with you. It was it was an interesting car journey, an interesting discussion, and it was filmed, and I'm sure it will be released sometime. So it was. If Russell gets to see this, it was really great. Thank you for inviting me into the car. It's got a cracking, beautiful dog in the car with him. And that was it. Enjoyed the show, and have a great day. Bye. I just wanted to add, I'm back home now, that I think the main thing I got from talking with Russell Brand was quite humbling. In the message I kind of took away is he said that in his experience that if he deals with his own stuff, everything else somehow gets put into place, and that's a hard thing, because I'd asked him whether he struggles like I do with dealing with my own stuff rather than dealing with other people's stuff. It's so much easier and more fun to deal with other people's stuff than my own. And and basically that's what he said to me, and it was a humbling message. So I just wanted to add that to the end. Now, how humble do you think I am, eh?